probably about to get canceled, but it's fine. We're fine. I'm fine. For some of you, this might be our last video together, and that's okay, girl, because you gotta do what fits best for you in your life. But for the rest of you, stay with me, and the Lord's gonna bless you. Okay, just bear with me.
I like my coffee black, white too. Don't turn this to no controversy, it's my boo. I can make $250,000 off a haiku, and I can make another quarter off at times 2.
It's been a minute since I've sat down, done my makeup, and just chatted with y'all. It is Saturday, March 23rd. I gotta go to work, and I was like, you know what? Let me go talk to my fam, talk to my sis. So make up your mind. I don't think I've done Make Up Your Mind all year. So basically what Make Up Your Mind is a series here on my channel. I think I started it back in like 2022, if I'm not mistaken, where I sit down, I do my makeup and talk about what's on my mind. If you're new here, what's good? I'm Amberp, professional makeup artist, hairstylist, and IFBB Bikini Pro, professional bodybuilder, and a mindset junkie. So I don't got no notes. Normally I have some notes, so this is probably going to be bouncing around everywhere. Here we go. Oh, because someone's going to ask me about my cup. It's Simply Modern. I'll link it down below. All products that are used will be linked down below in the description box. I'll go ahead and tell you, this is not a bust down makeup look. I haven't been doing my makeup like that, to be honest. I'm just more so focusing on my clients and their makeup. My makeup has been very minimal, very simple, easily now for the probably past 4 to 5 months, but that is where you can get this if you were wondering, and any other products. I find this whole like cup situation to be so fascinating. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know I find like all the Stanley Cup memes hilarious. I don't have anything against Stanley Cups. I don't judge people. Do what you want. The thing that is the most fascinating to me is how a cup, y'all, a whole cup just came in and literally took over the, like, not even just the fitness industry, just like everybody. I find that fascinating from a business standpoint. That's why I'm like, this is insane. Like, that's, hey, when the marketing is right, it's right. When it's your time, it's your time. So this I've been testing out. This is the new Danessa Myrick Show Me Skin Water Powder Serum. It's a mattifying priming serum, and y'all know I don't believe in primers. I think primers are a marketing scheme. However, anything that Danessa Myrick touches is amazing. I do like the Yummy Skin Balm, the universal one. That one, I do feel like it makes the skin look very blurring, and it does help with, you know, matte situations. The main reasoning why I've been testing this out is because I might want to add it to my kit. Like, this isn't for my own use, it's just more so for working, because y'all know the competition season is here. My makeup, well, I have a very niched makeup demographic that I work with. If you're new, I do the majority of my makeup is for bodybuilding competitions. And something that I have realized is that in prep, if there's particular supplements that are being utilized, if you know, you know. If this ain't that video, we ain't getting into it. It can kind of make the skin do some strength, some different things. This is something that I've picked up on for probably, I noticed it at the Olympia is when I noticed it. And I was like, okay, noted, because there's no education as far as doing makeup for bodybuilding competitions. So it just helps that I am in the industry myself, because I'm a pro bodybuilder and I happen to be a makeup artist. So everything that I'm learning is from me competing and then doing makeup for others. However, that was something that I noticed. So just trying to, you know, find the best products possible for my girlies. Okay, so let's update, right? Mid-January, opened my beauty bar. I'm back in the studio. Everything is going good. I'm very proud of myself because I have not stressed about it whatsoever. I haven't stressed about clients. I haven't stressed about the finances of it, which is very, very new to me. That is growth. But however, when God is on something, when you are being obedient to what God told you to do, and yes, on this channel, we rock with God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. I just like to make myself clear. I am someone who is not afraid to speak about these things. So if that makes your soul or spirit sizzle a little bit, that's fine. I'm not the person that's like, oh yes, the universe. God made the universe, so God Okay, just putting that out there. When you're in alignment and you are doing exactly what God tells you to do, it is very liberating and it is truly way less stressful. So everything in the studio is going good. I am not overexerting myself. So I am currently working 3 days a week and I take about 2 to 3, just depending on the services. So I am predominantly a hair colorist. So for me and the way that I work, if all the color jobs I have been doing, they've been pretty big color jobs. Like color just takes longer. So I've been taking about 2 clients a day, which is just great for me because listen, we got to honor the body. We got the body healthy. You know what I mean? So therefore that don't mean we can just push it and blast it and just, basically go down the road to destruction of how I used to operate. So how I am functioning and operating with my work, my business, is very different. Speaking of business, yes, so I am at that beginning phase, starting all over. And it's so interesting now because things that I used to freak out about, I no longer freak out because I have experience. I know how it goes. I know starting a new business, you're not going to be rolling in the dough. You're not going to be making a lot of money. In fact, you probably really won't be making money like that until maybe 2 or 3 years in. However, God does things and we have been here before. So that might not be the situation. It might be either way. I'm cool. I'm just being obedient, got into the salon and create. That's what God told me to do. So that's what we're doing. But in business, it does take time to build clientele and whatnot. So that's what I've been doing, just doing my clients that I've had previously. I have gotten a few new clients, which is cool. It is springtime now. So in just salon culture, and I don't know, it's probably the same for a lot of other industries too. January and February are slow. It's been like that I've been doing hair for 10 years, for 11 years now. So it's always been like that, no matter, like even in 2019 when I was like booming, it was like that as well. So it's just, beginning of the year, people got to get their funds right, recovering from the holidays and whatnot. So I never expect January and February to be busy. For me personally, my popping season is always April, May, and June. And then once I get to the bodybuilding season, June, July, and August, it's like bam, 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 go, 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 go. So that's where I'm at as far as the studio goes. I'm just happy to be able to be back and do what I love and not putting this pressure on me, because a lot of the times we put these unrealistic expectations and pressure on ourselves in regards to anything, but that's that. And then as far as me personally, so the first half of January was when I was basically like taking a sabbatical, just low key. I needed to rest. I had to prepare. And it was just simply because God needed me to rest to get ready to get back in salon, right? So here's where Ish is about to, probably start ruffling some feathers, right? So once I was obedient, got myself into the salon, I was like, okay, cool, God. We here. We're in this. I'm doing what you told me to do. Let's ride. I thought that was it. I thought that was going to be it. No. As soon as I got my butt in that salon, God started convicting me. And I have mentioned this a little bit in other videos, but not to the extent that I'm getting ready to. The conviction. I can say now, I ain't never been convicted in my life by God. This right here, when He is waking you up out your sleep to tell you things about you that you need to correct and fix, that's hard. That is hard because I am someone who is let's follow the rules, let's do the right thing, X, Y, and Z. So, it is hard for me to hear that, especially from God, like, okay, like, I gotta take it. So God was convicting me about how I was operating as a wife. Yeah. I'll be the first to say it. I was not the best wife. Okay? And when I say I was not the best wife, I do not mean that in an infidelity way or me in being rude or nasty to my husband. No, that's not it. I was doing the very basic things that you're supposed to do as a human. It's like, hey, you good, you need this, let me help you with that. But I understand now there were a lot of things that I needed to clean up and fix about myself. And let's face it, marriage is hard. Muriel and I, we have gone through the ringer. Like last year was a very difficult year for us. Like, whoo, I talked about it a little bit during my prep series. How I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it. Yeah, so it was one of those. We've been together for 10 years now. We just celebrated 10 years on us the other day collectively, and we've been married for 5. So we dated for 5 whole years before we even got married. However, God was just convicting me on things that I needed to be better about. And during this whole conviction, I was like, okay, well, let me start just trying to educate myself. So just really getting into the word and understanding what a godly wife is, what a biblical wife is. And I'll say this. A lot of women are out here saying,
I want to be married. I want to be married. Where's my husband? Where's my boys?
Y'all don't even understand what it truly means to be married and what it truly means to be a wife. Because as I stand here, being a wife for 5 years, being with the man for the same man for 10 years, I didn't understand it until last month. It didn't click until last month. And so as I am now on this journey of understanding, okay, I kind of got this wrong. I need to relax in a lot of areas. I need to stop, trying to overstep and understand that he's not trying to control me or be power. Like that's not what this is, girl. You need to calm down. So as I'm doing my research to understand, I'm finding Christian content, I come into this whole, how do I want to say this? I start understanding why I am the way that I am. And this is probably where things are about to ruffle some people's feathers, but that's fine. I quickly realized that feminism has played a huge chunk into my downfall. I, first of all, didn't even realize what exact feminism was. I personally thought feminism was, oh yeah, being a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl all day. I'm gonna always support the girlies. But then as I really start to pay attention and educate myself and learn, I'm like, feminism is quite toxic. Feminism is quite toxic, and it is something that has definitely burned me down to the ground, has caused burnout. It has done so much because at the end of the day, what we need to realize is God designed women a specific way and God designed men a specific way. A man is not worth more than a woman. And when it comes to value, we are equal. The way that God has made us, he's made us to do very specific things, and he's made men to do very specific things. So when it comes to the hierarchy and how God has created marriage in the household, there's the man, there's a woman. And I think what the issue is for me is when you are in a situation, you can't help how you grow up. Like I was raised by a single mom. So therefore and I'm an only child, have been taking care of myself and doing a lot of things on my own by myself for quite some time, and not realizing that, hey, when you are a wife, when you are married, you've said vows under God, you have to move and operate in a very different way. I've been hustling and grinding and gotta be a girl boss. I gotta do this. I gotta take over the world. Gotta do that. Entrepreneurship. You gotta make 6 figures. Gotta hit that. And I quickly realized that, the reason why I probably could never hit those financial goals was just simply because I was not going about it the right way. For me, when it came to the way that I was working, I was putting my work above myself. I was putting my work above my husband. I was putting my work above God. There were so many situations and times now that I think back where Marilla just wanted to hang out with me. I'm like, I can't, I gotta work. I gotta text this client back. I gotta do these emails. I gotta edit this. I gotta do that. And that is not healthy. And so I realized that I have subscribed to that. And then also understanding what submission is. For me, I did not grow up with my father in my life. So therefore, trying to wrap my head around a man telling me what to do was very difficult. And here's the thing. A true godly man is not toxic. He's not manipulative. He's not controlling. My husband might be a lot of things. He is not that. He has never made me feel less than. So when it comes to submission, if first of all, we choose who we are married to and who we lay down with, right? So it's unfortunate that some women do get wrapped up with men who are toxic, who are manipulative, who are controlling. That is not a man of God. If you're truly with a man of God, when he just walks in the room, he is there. He doesn't have to beat his chest. That's my favorite thing about Marilla. Like he's not fighting to be an alpha male or, trying, oh yeah, here I like he's not like that. He's just cool as a cucumber. And so for me, I had to basically undo that thought process of submission is slavery, because culturally the world will teach you that submission is slavery. But for some reason, I find it so fascinating how in the Bible it's always harped on the woman is to submit to her husband, but we never read the scripture under it.
Really quickly, because I realized I misspoke. I don't need the pastors. I don't need the evangelists. I don't need the Bible theologists. I don't need y'all coming after me, okay? Listen, I am a girly who did not grow up in church. I found God through my best friend and just, me being curious on my own. I am not someone who can tell you exactly verse by verse what scripture it is, but I can tell you that it is in there, all right? So I wanted to point this out here. It says above, not under, above, submit yourself to one another because of your reverence for Christ. Submit yourself to one another. So that means that you are to submit to each other. The culture will just make it seem like it's all women. We have to lay down, be a slave to men. And that's not what it is, you guys. When you are submitting to your husband, you are submitting because that is how God designed it. It is so far bigger than your own ego, because I know for me, it had a lot to do with my own ego and pride. But once I truly understood what God wanted, how he designed it, and just how things should flow, I realized really quickly that, hey, shawty, I got this bad boy all wrong, and I am submitting to my husband because it honors God.
The man is supposed to submit to his wife too, you guys. Like, submission is not a bad thing. Submission only gets dicey when you try to submit to the wrong one. And unfortunately, for some women, they are in situations where the man that they are submitting to is not a leader. He's not a man of God. He is unfortunately controlling, might be abusive mentally or emotionally or physically, manipulative. Like no. Because the thing is, and Lo says it best, he goes, you gotta give the woman something to want to submit to. And that's so true. That's so true. But understanding that, oh snap, okay, I have bought into what the world has taught me about submission, and not understanding that, hey, what they're telling you, what they're teaching you, that's not accurate. That's not God's design. That's not what it is. And so for me personally, it was definitely a control thing, a fear of, oh my gosh, well, yeah, I'm going to marry you, but I'm also going to make sure, I'm straight on the back end just in case, because, well, what if you do this? And what if you do that? Like, I can see how in some situations, yes, okay, I understand that. But then I also realize, hey, why do I feel that way? Why am I operating that way? That's my own fear. That's my own insecurities. He's never given me a reason to feel that way. That's just me being in my head. And that's the enemy. That's the enemy playing with my mind. Hold on, because I got to do my brows. Okay, we back. My camera started overheating. So in the process of, you know what? I'm gonna jot down some notes while it's on my mind. So where was I? So basically the enemy was playing with my mind. And here's the thing. When the devil knows your fears, he can then come in and do a number on your mind. I did not understand how thoroughly the devil was attacking my mind. I mean, just the things that I was thinking and the things that I was believing in, it is insane. But that's how the enemy works. So I realized really quickly I was afraid of submission due to fear of losing control. And then once I understood that submission has nothing to do with control, I was like, oh, okay. The gag is, y'all, Marilla has always understood the biblical construct of how marriage should be. He was always on it. He was always very well aware of it. And there were a lot of things that we just didn't agree on. And it was just due to him understanding that. And honestly, me not being there. And I'm gonna also keep it a buck. I also had moments where I didn't think, I was like, well, is he being spiritually fed? Like, is he being led by God? Is he doing like, and now that I look at it, I'm like, yeah, this whole time, like, and it's awful to say, but sometimes we try to judge people's relationships with God and are they Christ-like? And I unfortunately was doing that, but it's like, just because I don't actively maybe see him praying or something doesn't mean that he's not. It's like, when I think about how he is as a person, it's very obvious that Christ is in him. It's, I know it's horrible. Don't judge me. I'm just sharing this to help somebody. But when I truly look at it, I was the biggest issue because I was being so resistant. I was feeding into the
strong woman. I'm a strong black woman. I don't need nobody. I'm independent. I can do all this by myself. F a man. I don't need a man.
Like, this was my mindset, but it was because that's honestly the way that I was brought up. And just because you were brought up a certain way, and the thing is like that, and that's no slight to my mom, like she had to fight and figure it out. Like, she had to be that way for a very specific reason. But as you grow up and you start living your own adult life, you start to unlearn a lot of things that you learned. And one of my things, like with work, especially as I hit rock bottom and burnout, I was just like, I am tired. I don't want to grind like this anymore. And Marilla looked at me and said, you never had to, and I never wanted you to in the first place. Why are you doing this? And when he said that, it was just such an aha moment to me. And I realized, this is nothing but you. This is you. You have a lot of trauma. You have a lot of healing. You're trying to prove something to yourself. And I don't even know, I guess to myself, that, oh, well, because I started from here, then I really need to prove and don't be a statistic. And in reality, I never had to do all those things. He never wanted me to be out here and try to build this crazy business beast. Of course, like, if that's what happened, he's always been super supportive of me. He's my ride or die. Like, that boy, he supports me in everything. That man supports me in everything that I do. But it was all me. It was all me. And so finally I was like, you mean tell me I don't gotta be a strong black woman? I can just be a black woman and chill? I don't have to be up and doing all the things. Like, I don't have to do that. I can have a small business. Like, and that's the thing too, like, people are like, no, don't say business is small, your business is small. But it's like, for me, when I started out, I never wanted to be a business person. Like, if you would have told me at 16 that I would have my own business, I would have thought you were crazy. I can remember when I first started doing hair, telling Lo, I don't want to be a business person. I just want to be creative. And that is so true to who I am inside of me. And so I have really taken it and looked at things and got rid of this and got rid of that. And I'm cool having a small business. Like, I do not care to have this big, massive, mega business. I want to do what I love. I want God to use me via vessel to serve women. And then I want to come home and I want to chill. And I want to tend to my home, because that's something that's very important to me. I have not been able to give my home the attention that it needs because I've been work, gotta do this, gotta do that. No, I like my home to look a specific way, okay? I find joy in organizing my home and cleaning my home. That is therapy to me. Now, I don't find joy in my family just kind of being, not so nice and leaving stuff everywhere and making it harder for me. Of course, that's life. That's how it goes sometimes. But I find joy in those things. And I notice I get so focused on work and outside things to the point that I lose control of my home. And then when I lose control of my home, I lose control of my mind, because messy house, messy mind. That's how I operate. And so I found myself just constantly being in this rat race of just being so stressed out and burned out. It was just exhausting. And so when I finally came to terms with the fact that I don't have to do that, I need to remove this fear of control, because that's not what it is. All the things that the world and the culture has taught you of what submission is and how women should be or what women should do are not true. And the irony of it is, one of my biggest fears was me not being a good wife. That was my biggest fear. And the irony of it is that due to me not willing to let go of the control and let him lead is the very thing that was hindering me from being a good wife. Like, that's just wild to me. So what I started doing was here on YouTube, just finding, you know, godly women content, because I do believe, you know, your content and what you consuming, that matters. Hold tight, you guys. I came across Wendy Bender. She is a woman on YouTube, and she has Bible study, and she had a series. Oh, I can't even remember what the series was, but basically she is who taught me like how harmful feminism is and what it means to be a submissive wife. Like, go follow her. And she's also a Titus 2 woman, basically a woman who is older but is so wise and has the wisdom. We need more of that. I understand why, you know, the more mature women don't speak, because listen, it's wild out here, and unfortunately a lot of the girls, the younger generation, just simply aren't trying to hear the truth. I mean, let's just face it, the world's not really trying to hear the truth for what it is anyway. But I just have so much love and respect for that series she had on her YouTube channel, because it blessed my soul and it changed me. As soon as I started working on me and changed my heart, I kid you not, I saw a change within Murillo and my marriage within 24 hours. I kid you not. It's like he could feel it. Like, he's always helpful, but it was just kind of like, you need me to unload a dishwasher? Like, literally, he was like, what you want? What you want me to do? It was almost like he was just like, beep, 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 was all over me everywhere. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. So you mean to tell me this is all I had to do to get us on the right page, and now we can operate in harmony and be teammates and just vibe and be like, okay, got it. Got it. And then also during this time, I was introduced to a new term that I had never heard before. Trad wife, basically traditional wives, you know, women who stay at home, they do the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, the homeschooling. That was very fascinating to me. I fell into like a hole of just consuming that, because I had never seen that in my life. It was just like, wow, this is a whole new different way of life. However, there was something, unfortunately, that I found very common with that type of content, specifically from the younger women of trad wives. Not all of them, but for the most part, one thing that I came across that I did not like was that they had a very judgmental air about them. And I didn't like that. I just was like, girl, I hear you, I feel you, but the arrogance of it all, the I am better because, you know, I couldn't subscribe to it. I couldn't get down with it. So I was like, okay, like, thank you for educating me. You know, I'm the kind of person where I always want to learn, regardless if I agree with you or not. I still want to hear, because I don't know it all. And you can always learn something from someone, even if you don't agree with them. But for me, I just didn't like the tone of a lot of their content, just for that one reason, where I just felt it was very judgy, and I didn't like that. And I was kind of like, you could reach way more women if you didn't have that undertone. But, you know, however, the thing about that, what I find very interesting is we all know that God created us differently, right? So if God created us different, why would we all do the same thing? Like, that makes zero sense to me. Not every woman needs to be an entrepreneur. Not every woman needs to be working in corporate. Not every woman needs to be a stay-at-home mom. For some women, that's not mentally healthy for them. So there's nothing wrong with any of those things. You just have to do what's right for you. And the thing is, the thing that I don't like about feminism is it tries to perpetuate that you can do exactly what men can do, and we can't, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the gag is, they can't do what we do either. They're not supposed to. So it can really put you in this unhealthy rat race of trying to be something or obtain something that you may never be able to, just simply because you weren't designed to do so in the first place. I know I've probably lost a couple of y'all, and that's fine. I'm sure I'm probably getting thumbs down and unlikes and Amber, I can't believe you. It's cool. When I tell you, I ain't bothered. I'm not bothered. Again, I'm just sharing my personal experience. If you don't agree, that is totally fine. It's totally fine. Because why? Because God made us all different and we ain't going to agree on everything, right? Okay, amen, amen, perfect. It's just fascinating because feminism will teach you if you stay at home, then you are setting us back and you're less than. But then at the same time, the trad wives will teach you, if you don't stay home and raise your kids and do homeschooling, you're a bad woman. You're not doing what God designed. Extreme on either side. We see this all the time in politics. Like, if you're extreme with anything, it's too much. And this is what I found. Feminists are extreme, and then a lot of the trad wives were extreme as well. Then God blessed me with Ken and Tabitha, their podcast. Oh my gosh. So they are a married couple. They've been married for 22 years. And just, you know, he is in ministry and he travels. And then his wife, I know she has some form of her own ministry too. And so, you know, she has her own business as well, but she's still taking care of things at home. And I'm like, okay, so see, this I can subscribe to. I can get down with this. I can see myself in this. This makes sense for me. And the thing that I realized is, and I knew this, you gotta do what's best for your household. There are situations where it's like, okay, for a moment, let's just sit down and let's remove the gender roles, right? Just for a second. Y'all know Lo cooks. He loves to cook. That is his passion. The stereotypical gender role is the wife cooks. Well, okay, in my household, that don't work. Here's why. I don't like cooking. I can't stand cooking, and my food just simply is not as good as Murillo's. So therefore, if that's his gift, that's his passion, he loves to do it, I'm gonna let him do it. Another example, for me in my home, I am the technical support. I am tech savvy. I handle everything when it comes to anything technical. Why? That's my gift. My brain just works that way, you know? And so once I really started realizing, the goal is in all of this, talk to your husband. Figure out his pros, his cons. Your pros, your cons. What are you good at? What's he good at? What you not so good at? And you make your household, your marriage run in that way. Because at the end of the day, he is the head of the household. I tell Lo all the time, baby, you can wear the pants, but you know I'm the belt and you don't go nowhere without the belt. That's how it's supposed to be. So you right here, you got God. You're right here. You're taking care of me because you're supposed to love me like you love the church. Okay, got that. And anytime he's thinking something, he comes to me, he brings it to me, and I listen. Ladies, we got to listen because sometimes we talk too much. I sometimes talk too much, okay? And listen, and we make the decisions together. We're running the house together, you know? Now I'm like, hey, honey, what do you think about this? I'm actually, asking him to get his feedback instead of me just up and going on like I'm a single person still. That was something that was very hard for me. I had to break that because it wasn't a matter of me like, I'm not telling you what I'm doing, where I'm at, but because I've never had to do so. I've never had to explain. And for him, that was very disrespectful because he's like, I'm not asking where you at because I'm trying to track you. I'm asking where you at because you're my wife. And I want to make sure you're safe in case anything pops off. Nothing more, nothing less. So basically, God's got to be at the center of it. Your marriage, that's it. And this has been a spiritual awakening for me. It has been so healthy for me. It has just opened up my eyes to a lot of things. And I am way more mentally sound in regards to my marriage than I've ever been. And I'm just so grateful that God loves me enough to convict me, to tap me on my shoulder, to wake me up and not be like, get this together, all right? So again, everything on my face will be down below. I just gotta put my lip gloss on. I hope y'all enjoyed today's chit chat. Again, I'm not expecting everybody to understand. This is for the people. The people that needed it are gonna get it, and the people that didn't need it don't. So thank you so much for watching. Keep it simple and cast one more net.